All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling a film that seems to have really gotten under your skin, Sambizanga.
This 1972 film, huh? About the Angolan fight for independence. A fascinating choice. And you've given us a lot to unpack. We've got academic articles, film reviews, even some deep dives on Wikipedia.
Someone's done their homework. So to make sure we're both on the same page, what exactly is it about Sambizanga that has you so intrigued?
Well, to really dig into it, we have to remember that this isn't just some fictional story. It's a powerful reflection of what was happening in Angola back in 1961, a country on the edge of revolution. Imagine centuries of Portuguese rule, and the people are desperate to break free.
A pivotal moment in history, no doubt. But how does Sambizanga capture that? After all, it is a fictional story, right?
Right. But it's deeply rooted in reality. The film doesn't shy away from the brutal realities faced by Angolans under colonial rule. For example, the prison attack on February 4th, 1961. It wasn't just a dramatic plot point. That actually happened, and at the heart of it all was the MPLA, the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, fighting for a future free from oppression.
It's incredible how a film can blend fact and fiction so effectively.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier that I wanted to circle back to, third cinema. What exactly does that mean, and how does Sambizanga fit into that category?
Think of third cinema as a global movement that emerged in the 60s and 70s. Filmmakers from Latin America, Africa, Asia, they were all saying, our stories matter, our perspectives matter too. They were pushing back against the dominance of Hollywood, using film not just to entertain, but to challenge the status quo.
So it was about giving a voice to the voiceless.
Absolutely. And Sambizanga, with its unflinching look at the Angolan struggle, the human cost of oppression, it fits right into this movement.
Sounds like Sambizanga was more than just a film, it was a statement. And speaking of challenging expectations, I understand the film's main character, Maria, isn't your typical hero. What makes her journey so compelling?
You're spot on. Maria's journey, it really flips the script on what we expect from a hero. She's not some soldier on the front lines or a revolutionary leader giving grand speeches.
No, she seems much more relatable. Just an ordinary woman caught in extraordinary circumstances.
Exactly. And that's what makes her story so powerful. We experience the revolution not from some grand political stage, but through her eyes.
So we're seeing the personal impact of this conflict, the human cost.
Precisely. Maria's desperate search for her husband, Domingos, it becomes a microcosm of the larger struggle. It shines a light on how this colonial violence tears families apart, shatters communities, It's something that often gets overlooked in the grand narrative of revolutions. And what's really striking is that Sambizanga, while being about this fight for independence, it also reveals a different kind of revolution.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you mean?
Well, it reviews the quiet strength of women, Maria's resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. It's a story that resonates deeply.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder if this focus on a woman's experience was a deliberate choice by the director, Sarah Maldoror.
Oh, absolutely. You see, Maldoror's own life, it was intertwined with the Angolan struggle. Her husband, Mario Pinto de Andrade, he was a key figure in the MPLA.
Wow, so she was living and breathing this movement both on and off screen.
Exactly. And that personal connection, it bleeds into the film, the authenticity, the raw emotion. It's palpable. But Maldoror's impact, it goes even further than that. She was a pioneer, one of the first women of African descent to direct a feature film in Africa.
Talk about shattering glass ceilings.
Right. She was breaking down barriers left and right. But it's one thing to make a film. It's another to make a film that truly resonates with people. And one of the things that really struck me about Sambizanga is its visual style. It's incredibly powerful, often relying more on imagery than dialogue. What do you think Maldoror was trying to achieve with that approach?
It's like she's speaking a different language, a visual language, drawing us into the character's inner worlds without relying on words.
Precisely. Those close-ups on faces, they linger on every flicker of emotion, every bead of sweat, every tear, and the way she uses color. It's not just aesthetically pleasing, it's symbolic. The vibrant clothing against the backdrop of the Angolan landscape.
It's like she's reclaiming beauty as a form of resistance.
Exactly. She's challenging those colonial stereotypes,
Yeah.
The ones that paint Africa as bleak and desolate. Maldoror shows us the vibrancy, the life, the resilience that colonialism tries to erase. And then there's her use of montage, those quick cuts between seemingly disconnected scenes.
You mean like how she intercuts between Maria desperately searching for Domingos and Domingos being interrogated? It's such a powerful technique.
Right. She physically separates them, but through those quick cuts, those flashes back and forth, their emotional connection becomes even stronger. And the audience, we feel that tension, that longing, that shared struggle, even though they're apart.
It's like we can feel the distance between them, but also the invisible thread that still binds them together. Incredibly effective.
And the critics agreed. Sambizanga earned international acclaim. It even won the prestigious Tanit d'Or at the 1972 Carthage Film Festival.
Wow, that's a huge honor. So we're talking about a film that not only captivated audiences, but also earned critical respect. It really put Angolan cinema and African cinema in general on the map.
Absolutely. It was a game changer. I mean, think about it. A film directed by a Black woman, centered around a woman's experience, challenging colonial narratives. This was revolutionary, especially back in the early 70s.
It's amazing how a film can be so powerful, so ahead of its time. Speaking of which, Sambizanga was released over 50 years ago. Why should it still matter to us today? What can we, in the 21st century, take away from it?
Because its themes, they're timeless, universal. Resilience, resistance, the fight for justice, the power of collective action. These are things that resonate across generations and geographies. Maria's story might be fictional, but it reflects the very real struggles faced by so many communities throughout history, even today.
It's a powerful reminder that even though the fight for equality continues, so does the strength of the human spirit.
Exactly. And it reminds us that we all have a role to play in challenging injustice, in fighting for a more equitable world. So yeah, go watch Sambizanga, but don't just watch it, feel it. Let it spark a conversation. Let it inspire you to action. Because the fight for a better future, well, that's a story that's still being written.
That's a powerful note to end on. So much to think about. A huge thank you to our expert for taking us on this journey through Sambizanga, and to you, our listener, for sparking this fascinating conversation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the spirit of Sambizanga alive.